Right now on 44 News at 10, a local group led by a doctor rallying against mandates.
Protect the at-risk, everyone else live their lives.
I'm in Du Bois County, where the group hopes to move past the pandemic and move not to a new normal, but back to the old one.
The impressive boom that shook Western Kentucky, the company tearing down their plant.
High temperatures surging back into the upper 80s once again. I'll let you know how long the warmth is expected to last, and we'll talk rain chances spoiling those weekend plans.
All new tonight, building relationships among the most isolated.
They don't go out a lot, especially with everything that's going on this past year.
How a new program is connecting seniors with someone who cares. Then parents, did your child's school make the grade?
The numbers, of course, reflect what happened 18 months prior.
The reaction from schools being graded on pandemic teaching. I'm Jessica Hartman. Those stories and more right now on 44 News at 10.
Dedicated to local news, this is 44 News at 10.
First tonight, a new program is proving a little companionship can go a long way. The Evansville-based company is providing seniors with a chance to connect. 44 News reporter Sydney Spencer explains how they're using a good meal to do it.
The pandemic has shed light on the needs of many, especially senior citizens.
Isolation is a big thing that we've seen, going through this COVID restrictions, especially I'm going to point out nursing homes.
With time away from family and being at a higher risk of catching the deadly virus, that time in isolation can be lonely and could lead to something more serious.
We have found that isolation can have the beginnings of Alzheimer's. And if we don't incorporate a lot of that companionship for them, then they're just sitting in the home, and it just causes them to be isolated and depressed.
One way they're going about reducing some of that lonely feeling those elders may have is by sending a caregiver out to sit and enjoy a meal with them.
A program called the Companionship Diet, run by Home Instead.
The companionship diet is actually to encourage a more healthy lifestyle. We're hoping that they encourage their family members to come in and eat with them, or we can also offer our caregivers to come into their homes.
A simple way to help our seniors during this hard time, simply through a nutritious diet and time spent with others.
Whether it be meal prep, whether it be transferring, whether it be transportation, just being there for them and making sure they're safe in the home is really it's important to us.
Giving back to those who need it most. In Evansville, Sydney Spencer, 44 News.
We all enjoy a good meal with company. Great idea there. The Kentucky Department of Education released the test scores for the latest round of standardized testing, and the results are, well, less than stellar. But education leaders say those numbers are skewed because of the pandemic. The statewide testing wrapped up last May. Educators in Davis County tell us students learning virtually or in a hybrid situation, that played a role in those lower statistics. But they're optimistic that the new year will offer a different result.
Going all in the right direction in all of our subject areas and all grade levels. So I really anticipate seeing incremental growth, hopefully exponential growth.
Davis County Public Schools say another reason for the decline in test scores is the number of students who didn't take them. 25% of the district's students were unable to take the test. Younger students could be vaccinated as soon as this fall. A St. Vincent doctor tells 44 News the State Department of Health reached out, saying kids as young as 5 could be vaccinated just in time for trick-or-treating. It comes one day after Pfizer submitted research to the FDA for approval. Local hospitals are now preparing for what they hope is the green light. Right now, reports indicate kids 5 to 11 would get the same formula, but in a smaller dose.
Well, we also know at that age how challenging it is to keep masks on and keep kids from touching their face or touching their masks. And it's just really a safety issue, helping them stay safe from the infection, from the complications, and also keeping their family members and the adults they're around that might be even more susceptible.
St. Vincent tells us they have plenty of Pfizer formula available if a new age group is given approval. Parental consent, of course, would be required. And the community is coming together in Owensboro to encourage those who are eligible right now to get the vaccine. The Green River District Health Department will host a drive-through vaccine clinic tomorrow. It's happening at the First Christian Church on J.R. Miller Boulevard. You can swing by 8:30 to 1 o'clock tomorrow. The Owensboro Chamber of Commerce is among the groups urging Kentuckians to pull up and roll up their sleeves.
I feel like it's really important for us to provide an opportunity so our businesses can stay open, so our schools can stay open, and that people who want a vaccination can get it.
In the previous 4 clinics in Owensboro, more than 500 people got vaccinated. Organizers say no appointment is necessary. Just bring your ID and an insurance card if you have one. Here in Indiana, the State Department of Health is hosting another COVID-19 vaccine and testing event at the C.K. Newsom Center. It'll be Friday and Saturday. The department's strike team will be in town from noon to 8. Both Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson shots will be available. That all comes as cases do start to see a slow decline in our tri-state communities. As of today, none of our southern Indiana counties are in the red zone. Vanderburgh County, however, still reporting high numbers with 92 new cases. Davies County reporting 27. Du Bois and Warwick with numbers just below that. Across the Ohio, the Green River District in their last 3-day report put up more than 550 cases. Half of those are in Davis County, while Ohio County remains high as well. Nearly 100 new positives there. But the bigger story is the 7-county region. Total of deaths, 14 reported in the last 3 days. Pandemic mandates still in place in most of our tri-state communities. That brought one Du Bois County group to the courthouse this evening. 44 News reporter Valerie Lyons spoke with protesters during their rally and shares the message.
We have a new religion in America. It's called the religion of COVID.
More than a dozen protesters rallying outside the Du Bois County Courthouse Wednesday with a message: no to COVID-19 mask and vaccine mandates.
Cannot we have other alternatives and even speak about other alternatives without the world blowing the roof off the place? It just doesn't seem right.
Led by local doctor Richard Moss, they feel the mandates are illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional.
We had this uptick, this surge, and I don't want every single time going forward we have another surge of one virus or another, that the fallback position is to lock down, shut down, keep the kids out of school, put masks on everyone, force vaccinate. It's a big mistake.
On Tuesday, Dr. Moss read this letter to the local school board asking that masks be made voluntary once again, because he says for both children and adults, masks do more harm than good.
The masks do not work, and they don't help. They have no effect on reducing the transmission of the virus.
Per the governor's directive, mask mandates were reintroduced in Du Bois County schools at the start of September, though the executive order is set to expire Thursday. But whether mask or vaccine,
I certainly don't want the government forcing it on me.
The group wants to move past the pandemic.
We want to go back to the old normal, live our lives, normal lives.
And if that means holding more rallies like this one.
If we don't stand up and say what's going on, let's talk about this, where will this end?
Then that's exactly what they'll do. In Jasper, Valerie Lyons, 44 News.
Thank you, Valerie. As you can see, good weather for that event. Storm Team 44 Chief Meteorologist Cameron Hopman tracking a holdout on those summer temps.
Yeah, Jess, the warmth sticking around for the tri-state. Temperatures today topping out in the mid to upper 80s. Our third straight day of 86 degrees or warmer here in Evansville. It's 70 degrees right now. Things have cooled off slightly. 66 Henderson, 64 Madisonville. We're up to around 65 degrees, I should say, by 7 o'clock in the morning. A few light clouds early tomorrow. Not a bad start to the day by any means, but a mild one. That 64-degree morning low temperature in Evansville, well, that's still about 10 to about 12 degrees warmer than average for this time of the year. 73 degrees by 9 o'clock, and you better believe that mild start to the day giving way to another warm one tomorrow. High temperatures right back into the upper 80s for our Thursday. Moving forward from there, we are tracking chances of rainfall headed our way this weekend. That could put a bit of a damper on any of those weekend plans. Early next week, looking much cooler. I'll let you know exactly how much rain is headed our way, and yeah, we'll talk about a good cool down ahead as well. It's all coming up.
We do have an update to the deadly crash that closed Highway 66 on the west side of Evansville last night. The sheriff has identified the victim as 48-year-old John Hatfield of Vanderburgh County. Deputies tell us a motorcycle and car collided in the westbound lanes. That area was closed from Highway 65 all the way to Metzger Park Drive. Hatfield was the one riding the motorcycle. He died at the scene. The driver of the car taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We also know tonight the identity of a Vanderburgh County inmate who passed away in his cell early Tuesday morning. 64-year-old Edwin Faulkner was pronounced dead after first responders were unable to revive him. A confinement officer discovered Faulkner during a routine check. An autopsy has been performed and those results are pending. Right now, the sheriff's office says they do not believe foul play is suspected. Bond has been set at $100,000 for a man that was involved in a standoff this weekend. It happened after a shooting just west of Evansville. 41-year-old Cassidy Michael Fenwick appeared in court virtually today, where he was charged with 2 level 5 felonies. On Saturday, Fenwick shot a man in the foot, according to deputies. He then hid in the attic of a home on Hosley Avenue.
When we responded, the owner of the home met us and said, yes, the person was in the house and wouldn't come out. So it took us hours to finally convince the person to come out of the house.
Fenwick's bond again set at $100,000. If he makes bail, he cannot have contact with the victim. His next court appearance is November 17th. Owensboro police have made an arrest in a Tuesday carjacking. The victim was shot on Gardenside Drive near West 9th. It happened last night around 9 o'clock. He told police it was a group that shot him and then took off in his car. A 16-year-old boy has been charged in the investigation. That victim expected to be okay. And new tonight, a large drug bust happened. The Penny Ryle Task Force catching the dealer in the act, handing over an entire pound of meth. It happened in Ohio County. The task force arrested 52-year-old Luther Burton at the Hucks in Beaver Dam. They say Burton was the one providing the drugs. Coming up next, how you can help Afghan refugees who are now living in Indiana, the donations the National Guard is looking for. Also ahead, we take you on a walk with EPD. They are months into a new initiative, how it's keeping them rooted in the community. Over 6,000 Afghan refugees are now being housed here in Indiana. They left nearly everything behind, and the National Guard is now asking Hoosiers to step in with clothing donations. 44 News reporter Ella Shemwell checked in with the local armory here in Evansville.
It has been 1 week since the Indiana National Guard started collecting items for the Afghanistan evacuees housed at Camp Atterbury.
A lot of these people came with next to nothing, some with the clothes on their back, some with maybe just one backpack.
And although donations started off slow, the community is now coming together to help 6,600 refugees restart.
This is a priority thing, is taking care of folks that are in a situation like they are.
Bruce Wright and his congregation at Old North United Methodist are raising money for the next week to help make an impact.
I don't know how many $1,000s worth of clothing that we'll have by that point, but we'll go shopping and then we're going to take it down to the National Guard and they take it up to Camp Atterbury.
The National Guard says they need everything you see on this list, but most importantly, baby items.
You know, every little bit helps them get through their process that they're going through.
The National Guard will be accepting donations every week until December.
Whenever you donate something, even if it's a chunk of money, how many times do you regret it? You don't.
Reporting in Evansville, Ella Shemwell, 44 News.
Right, you really don't end up regretting it. Storm Team 44 Chief Meteorologist Cameron Hopman says summer is donating a few more days to the tri-state.
Yeah, Jess, things are looking awfully nice across the tri-state, especially for those of us who really enjoy that summer-like weather. It was another warm one today. In fact, our third straight day of temperatures, the mid to upper 80s. Even right now, it's fairly comfortable. Still 70 degrees out there. The winds from the south, as weak as they are, around 0 to 5 miles per hour, keeping things comfortable for us at 66 Henderson, 70 degrees Owensboro. Madisonville, you're already down to 64 degrees, which is where Evansville will find themselves early tomorrow morning, right around daybreak, 63 degrees. degrees in Mount Vernon, 62 Newburgh-Henderson. You're right around 63 degrees. Now sunrise at 6:45 in the morning. Yeah, it's getting a little bit later. We continue to lose those minutes each and every day of sunlight, and well, you can see temperatures kind of stay relatively cool, all things considered, between 6 and 7 o'clock. But once that sun really starts beating down on the tri-state, things really warm up. We go from 65 at 7. By 8 o'clock, we're up to 69 degrees. Temperatures tomorrow surging right back in to those mid to upper 80s. Here's where we stand. Few light clouds. Notice, though, latest model data keeping all of that rainfall away from us. Most of the cloud cover, in fact, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. High temperatures tomorrow, 87 Evansville, Madisonville, 86, 87 Carmari, fourth straight day of 86 and above across the tri-state. And well, we're going to make it 5. Check this out. We go 87 on Thursday, partly cloudy, winds from the southeast 5 to 10. Friday, 86, about a degree cooler. 5 straight days of near 90-degree heat in some spots. And well, it's going to feel like summer, and it's going to be a beautiful day because yes, the rain chances stay well to the west of us. Stalled out frontal boundary camped out over the tri-state, acting as a wall, a buffer, keeping all of that rain away, not only for your Friday afternoon, but your Friday evening as well. Kickoff temperatures around 78 degrees on Friday night, 75 at halftime. Right around the end of those football games, we're at 71 degrees. Now, yes, the rain chances stay away for those football games on Friday, but what about that Evansville half marathon? The latest model data, just checking that out for the last half an hour here. We're pushing those rain chances back now to 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. So the beginning of the race looking dry, but once you start crossing that finish line later in the morning, a few light showers begin to be a possibility, unfortunately, for those runners. So Saturday, Sunday, better chance of rainfall on Sunday. Isolated rain showers both days. Notice temperatures also cooling. We'll go from 82 degrees on Saturday, Sunday down to 77 degrees. Monday, 77 as well, but we are dry, clear. Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, yeah, the mid-70s do stick around. The average high temperature this time of the year, about 77 degrees. So we will gladly take those mid to low 70s early next week, especially for those of us who really like that fall weather.
Thanks, Cam. Evansville police officers were back out in the community taking advantage of the warm weather for their Walking Wednesday. It's a new weekly tradition that gets officers into different neighborhoods on foot, interacting with the community. EPD implemented the program back in April. It gives crime prevention officers the chance to talk to neighbors, hear concerns, identify problems that might otherwise be overlooked. But the goal of Walking Wednesdays goes even a step further.
It's always good to get out of the office and to just kind of walk around, meet the citizens, and not meeting them on an emergency basis. You're just kind of meeting them in their own environment, being able to talk to them about any concerns, answer any questions, just kind of get to know them. That's always been my policy as a CPO.
This Wednesday, EPD walked through TP Park on the city's south side, building trust and putting a partner behind the badge. If you're looking for a way to get to the West Side Nut Club Fall Festival but want to avoid the headache of finding a parking spot in the area, well, the Mets bus has you covered. During the Fall Festival, Mets buses will provide shuttle services on 2 different schedules. One during the lunch hour, another opportunity around dinner time. Standard bus fares will apply. For a full list of times and pickup stops, head to our website, WEVV.com.
3, 2, 1, fire 2.
Wow, just an impressive boom. It echoed across Muhlenberg County this morning. The Tennessee Valley Authority imploded a series of storage silos at their Paradise Fossil plant. That demo is part of the TVA's plan to clear the site by 2029 and add natural gas units. It's an investment of about $500 million. Here in Vanderburgh County, a new AT&T rural broadband project will connect more communities. 20,000 customer locations to be exact. The nearly $40 million project will increase internet speeds over the next 2 years. That project is a partnership with county commissioners. And happening Friday, Central High School will dedicate their field to the beloved coach, Mike Owen. Longtime coach, friend, and mentor. He'll be the new namesake of the football field. School organizations and several alumni raised $50,000 to make that dedication a reality. The ceremony will be held before the Bears take on the Harrison Warriors at 6 o'clock on Friday. Up next, 44 Sports Director Joe Downs has a look at the Lady Aces' first basketball practice, the changes coming for their season ahead.
And now, 44 Sports with Joe Downs, brought to you by Audubon Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Chrysler, where the Viper sits high in the sky.
College basketball tips off the season this week with the opening of practices, and it's safe to say with a new coaching staff and game plan, it's a whole new ball game for the Evansville women.
I'm proud to introduce the new University of Evansville women's basketball head coach, Robin Sher-Wells.
April 20th was the easy part. Since then, Robin Sher-Wells and her team have done the heavy lifting, turning around a UE program that has struggled to compete the last 4 seasons, winning just 16 games while losing 97. Not an easy task, but as the first week of official practices begin, the optimism around the new-look Aces hasn't waned.
They've been amazing. Really, the transition couldn't have gone smoother at this stage. They've been so bought in, and they've jumped in with 2 feet, and they're so coachable. From where we started this summer and just watching how much they've improved and really grasped what we're trying to do here, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for our fans to see them play this season. I think it's just going to look like a completely different team.
One of the biggest things is the style of play. Kind of everything has been different in a good way, using more of the strengths that our team has to win games. Her encouragement is over the top, and we love it.
As for the roster Sher-Wells inherited, the cupboard is far from bare, with 6 returners all having played significant minutes. Now the challenge is to blend them in with a patchwork of Division I and junior college transfers, as well as 3 freshmen.
I've been very fortunate to inherit a really talented group of players. You know, obviously with a player like Abby Fight, one of the best players in the NBC, with a senior point guard like Anna Newman. You know, and we're really lucky in that sense. We also brought in some really nice players too that I think complemented what was returning. They all just gelled really well together, and they complement each other really well.
We have like half returners, half new, so we've had to adjust to that, but I think everyone's been doing really well, learning each other's style of play and just adjusting to our style of play.
And the style of play is much more up-tempo than in years past. And the hope is that combined with more victories, will turn Meeks Family Fieldhouse into a house of horrors for the opposition.
Returners and the new people are just ready to come out and play, do whatever it takes to win.
I think having early momentum would be really important for us. We can win most of our non-conference games heading into the tough Missouri Valley Conference, but yeah, definitely getting a crowd back in there will be nice.
And that's what I love about Meeks, is if we get fans in there, it's going to be an awesome home court advantage. That's my job, and that's our job, is to put a winning team out there. We have a chance to do that early on in our schedule.
The Aces tip off November 9th against Austin Peay. Meanwhile, up in Bloomington, Wrights alum Christian Lander is preparing for his 2nd season at Indiana. His first year was a bit of a disappointment, averaging just over 2 points per game. Now Lander is determined to step this time up around.
Indiana's gotten it down to a whole lot more mature mentally and physically. Last year it gave me a lot of time to see who I really was as a player, and I've gained a lot this past year.
They all been battling, and Christian is starting to step up now, where he was a little behind the 8 ball.
Well, more summer-like weather on tap for our Thursday and our Friday. High temperatures both days in the mid to upper 80s. We'll hit 87 degrees on Thursday, Friday 86. Cooler weather for your weekend, unfortunately, comes with that side of rain chances. We'll see a much nicer early next week, 77 next Monday. Next Tuesday, a high temperature of 74 under partly cloudy skies.
All right, September holding on to summer. October almost here. We'll see what it brings. Thank you for making us your choice in news.